Are you having trouble finding hand sanitizer? Well, Spa Treat has you covered. There's no need to go searching high and low. Just visit spatreatofficial.com and place your order on their easy-to-use website. On-schedule delivery. One of the great things about this product, Spa Treat Fulfillment Team is working around the clock to provide people hand sanitizer during this time of need and get your order to you as quickly as possible, even faster than Amazon. Spa Treat also has the lowest price of any of its competitors. Spa Treat has 62% alcohol content, and the FDA recommends between 60 to 80 for maximum protection. This one has 62 because it doesn't dry your hands out. I use this stuff every single day. It is fantastic. It's got certified organic extracts with the ingredients in that hand sanitizer that are of the highest quality, and they're designed to leave your hands smelling and feeling fresh while protecting you at the same time. The best part, there's no tricky residue left over. None of that sticky stuff. 4 scents available: unscented, tea tree, lavender, and lemon. And best of all, this product right here is made in the good old United States of America. A lot of companies are having trouble dealing with the current demands, so Spa Treat has dedicated themselves to providing a much needed product in the time of crisis. Spa Treat has better prices, faster shipping, and a larger supply than any of their competition. There isn't even a close second. Visit spatreatofficial.com and enter promo code SPA SPA at checkout to receive 5% off your entire order. That's right. Not only are they offering the lowest price available, but they're also offering our listeners a discount. This promo code is exclusive to Voice America, and only our listeners get this discount. Spa Treat and Voice America came together on this sponsorship in order to provide Americans something they could really need right now: peace of mind. Visit spatreatofficial.com and order yours today. That's spatreatofficial.com, and make sure you use the promo code SPA at checkout to receive 5% off your entire order. spatreatofficial.com. Get your awesome hand sanitizer.
Mark 1 Charlie.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I'm full of optimism.
Einstein's theory of relativity.
We're still seeing it quite well through that haze. T-minus 37 seconds.
The fight is growing continent.
E equals MC.
That all men are created equal.
About the future innovations.
And growing strength in the air.
Tear down this world. Something's happening coming up on station.
This is Finding Your Frequency with your hosts, Jeff Spinard and Ryan Treasure. It's time to speak up, share your voice, and hear from the thought leaders.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another great episode of Finding Your Frequency. I am your host, Ryan Treasure. I want to welcome you guys all to another great episode. You know, we so often on the show talk a lot about business and, you know, how entrepreneurs do what they do. And so this is a great time for us to kind of touch on both entrepreneurship and also health and wellness, right? Because I think having good health and wellness is extremely important. If you don't have good health and can't take care of yourself, you can't take care of your family. You got to put yourself first, and you know, making sure that you stay up on those things are extremely important. So we got a great guest today, Dr. Manisha Mittal, who's going to be joining us. She's been on a bunch of TV interviews. She's founded the Moksha Holistic Center in Fresno, California, where she conducts wellness classes and workshops. So I want to welcome you to the show, Doc.
Yeah, thank you for having me on the show, Ryan. It's a great honor and pleasure to be here on Voice America.
Yeah, we appreciate you taking time out of your busy day to join us. And, I know that you guys are over there trying to save the world with your holistic center, which is, also wonderful. I love the fact that you've taken a holistic approach to, some of the stuff that you're working on, because mind-body medicine is extremely important, connecting with your inner self to really, get some empowerment, right? And really live your life to the fullest. It's important. And, it's the same reason why I do karate, right? It's a great link between my physical and my mental that allows me to kind of keep, those things connected. Something that we say all the time while we're doing karate is our mind and our body work together as one, right? So it's important that you take care of the mind and the body, right?
Yeah, you very rightly said that it's important we connect both sides, the physical body and as well as the mental health, because having them both well connected to your conscious and your soul, you really have a lot of energy in yourself. You can self-repair your body, you can self-heal. There's so many illnesses that now we're learning are connected to the mind. There's so much that, our mind, our day-to-day experiences, our daily life, they influence us. They influence the flares we get. They influence how we feel. So there's a huge connection. And, not realizing that we're really very short-sighting ourselves to just treating a particular symptom or disease. So you very rightly said, you need both mental, spiritual, and physical health. All go hand in hand.
Yeah, and I also like to think too that not one is more important than the other. Like they're all equally as important, right? It's like if you go to the gym and you work out every day and you've got great physical, but you're not paying attention to your mental, then you're not really healthy. You're not wholly healthy.
Yeah, and that's so true. The more you learn about it, that these are interdependent. Like you said, not one is more important than the other. They're connected. What we're learning now is that the microbiome, or the healthy bacteria and different kind of organisms in our gut, they influence the way our brain perceives things. They can turn on and off certain signals and neurotransmitters in our brain. And for example, depression is now linked to your gut bacteria. So it's all related. So everything goes together.
Oh, that's interesting too. And I know that's like the reason why I take probiotics, right? It's a daily supplement that's part of my regimen that I take along with the multivitamin, vitamin C, and vitamin D, right? Those are all just extremely important. And, I think now, especially with everybody crammed at home and, not at their facilities or at their offices, working and being around other people. And, if you got to be careful because, not getting outside as much and those types of things, right? And you start to lack in some vitamins and nutrition. So, how important is it for people to have, a regimen of some sort that they're on for like multivitamins or something maintenance related to boost their immune health?
Yeah, this is a great question, Ryan. You bring about a great topic of discussion. Because I get this question asked a lot from my patients and my clients at the wellness clinic. I tell everybody that ideally our body is able to make everything. It's about harnessing your inner pharmacy, how you get to a level where your body knows what to produce and in what amounts. For example, when a patient is pregnant, the body knows the signals. The cells multiply, they form 8 stages of 8 cells, then a fetus, then a whole organism is formed. Different cells cluster together to form the heart, the muscles, the skin. So the body really has that inner intelligence. So ideally the body is able to produce it, and it's just a matter of us getting to that step of realizing how to harness that inner potential and inner energy. But, until we get there, it's important to supplement. So once, you are physically, spiritually, and mentally very well connected, you really don't need any additional supplements. But until we can get to that stage of enlivening our inner intelligence, yes, it's important to pay attention. For example, starting with your diet, like what you're really eating. Because in a sense, you are what you put in yourself. So you got to be careful about how you're eating. So that's important too. What time of the day are you eating? Are you really hungry, or you're just snacking because you're bored?
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that a little bit. I want to expand on what you're saying before we get too far into some other topics, because that's something that is something that I listen to and I pay attention to a lot, is like, what am I eating and what time am I eating? But I think it's really important to some people. And I have some questions around that too, because, part of my fitness plan or my holistic health plan, I've been toying around with different things, because you hear, people trying to lose weight, so they're on the keto diet. And then you hear, intermittent fasting is the way to go. And I don't necessarily know any of those which are the right way to go, but I have thought, intermittent fasting should be helpful because, you're not intaking the body. And then you talk to other professionals and they say, no, you want to kickstart your metabolism. You should be, having a snack every 2 2 hours or something like that. So let's talk about that a little bit, because I think that's a misconception that a lot of people have on, when are they supposed to eat, because we're so stuck in this Western way of, you have breakfast in the morning and you have lunch in the middle of the day and then you have dinner. And what is the challenges around that nomenclature of having breakfast, lunch, and dinner versus, not breaking your fast from the evening time until lunchtime and skipping breakfast versus that. So let's kind of talk about that. What are your thoughts?
So, I practice holistic and integrative medicine, and a lot of my practice is based on principles of Ayurveda. So Ayurveda is Eastern medicine. It's a traditional system of complementary and alternative medicine from India, which dates back to like 5,000 plus years. So a lot of, my wellness is based on those principles. And what really they focus is that your body is very intelligent. We need to realize that, we have within ourselves the ability to do everything we want. There's a huge potential. There's a vast cosmic potential that really human body has not been able to explore. We're very much limited by modern medicine into objective findings. We need to objectively prove it, certain trials, certain research methods, and objectivity is really small. The subjective field is vast and huge. And I'll tell you that there's no one diet that fits everybody. So for example, if I see somebody with rheumatoid arthritis or lupus, I can give them idea that majority people will have this kind of disease course or these kind of symptoms and complications, which are great guiding, tools and educational information. But no two people with lupus will have the same outcome, because we're all different. Everybody's different. Our thoughts, our emotions, our expressions, our day-to-day experiences, our diet, genetics, everything is so unique to us. So we cannot say that, an X diet will work for everybody. So it's really finding your own inner harmony and peace, and that kind of dictates. So an important thing is that, you have to be careful that a lot of, now modern medicine is recognizing that a lot of chronic disease is from toxins, a lot of endogenous and not just exogenous toxins. The body's producing a lot of endogenous toxins. And liver is a great detox organ in our body. So while we can do a lot of detox diets, your body, God, nature, has given you that liver that is a detox organ. And detoxification happens a lot of times at night. So we don't want to start eating heavier meals towards the end. So it's very important to sometimes go, a very easy way to think of it is go by the principle of sunlight. So the fire and the energy in the sun kind of corresponds to your own digestive fire. So human beings, we have digestion starts right in our mouth. When we hear about food, when we smell the food, all the cooking that's going on, the salivation starts. We start producing amylase and various secretory enzymes and digestive enzymes right in the mouth. So the chewing is important. So it's very important to remember that, you have to be in the right atmosphere. So if you're driving and eating, you may want to rethink. Because, what's going to happen is you're driving, your brain is focused on, even though you may be doing it subconsciously, but still your brain is focused in a different direction. You're looking at the street sign, you're still paying attention to the traffic and looking outside. You're not signaling the brain to start secreting. I
don't know, doctor. That might be up for debate. I see people trying to eat and drive all the time, and I'm like, just pull over, please. You're going to kill somebody.
Yeah, and so those are like simple things that we can change in our lifestyle. We need to spend time to eating. So eating is really time that you want to sit down, relax, and pay attention to the food. Because you are really trying to take all the intelligence from the food and make it part of your cells, part of your DNA. And so that way, you're not just eating because it's a checklist, you have to eat. You really have to be hungry to eat. So, if you're not hungry, you might want to skip. That means your body's not ready to accept the food at that time. And it's important to not have, a very heavy meal towards bedtime, because that's going to affect your ability to secrete even melatonin, for example. Melatonin is important to sleep.
So if somebody's going to bed at, like 9 or 10 o'clock at night, right, and they're going to get their 8 hours of sleep, right? So like, for example, me, I try to get to bed by 9 or 9:30 so I can get up at 5 or 5:30 in the morning. So if that's the case for me, when should I be eating, that last, heavier meal of the day, like 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the evening time, giving yourself a good 3 hours before you go to bed?
Yeah, that's actually a great example, Ryan. I think you're doing it pretty perfect. So you want to sleep before 10. So 9 and 9:30 is ideal. That's great, because that's really very much synonymous with your own physiology. By that time, your body's ready to retire and you're ready to go to sleep and your detox starts. And in the morning, this is wonderful. You want to wake up definitely before 7, because after 7, if you start to gain weight. Actually, if you're not up by 7, the body has a tendency towards weight gain and not feeling clear, no clarity of thinking through the rest of the day. So it's wonderful that you can wake up by 5:30 and 6, get some exercise, breathing exercises. For example, like if people are not able to go outdoors as much, which, with social distancing, we still can. We can still be outdoors. And morning time and seeing the sunlight is actually wonderful way, especially for arthritis patients. This is great to get your muscles to have flexibility, strength, and tone, and more vitality. So morning, just a brisk walk is good enough. If you can get to running, wonderful. Your body allows that, and you're not in pain. By all means, continue with that. And then, you want to have your biggest meal around lunchtime. So somewhere from 11 to 2 p.m. is when you want to be eating the heaviest. And dinner time comes more closer, by 6 p.m. That's good, but you don't want to eat something very heavy, because you have to remember that the body needs to digest that before bedtime. So if you're thinking about eating something more heavier, maybe move it towards lunchtime. I think a lot of it will require training and change in culture of how we eat, and you'll see that a lot of times you're actually helping your body to digest. So it's actually easier for the body.
Yeah, and I think you're right there. There are some nights though, when my wife makes a nice dinner, it generally ends up becoming, a pretty hefty meal. And I want to tell her no. I don't want to be like, hey, honey, this is way too much food for me. I'm trying to, keep myself healthy. I feel it's kind of, like maybe a little rude. So how do you work together as a family, right? To get everybody on the same page, right?
Yeah, so it's great to say if your evening you want to cook together, it's good to participate in the whole process. I think the kids need to participate, depending on how old they are, like setting up the table or picking up the vegetables and the fruit. And a lot of, herbs can be grown. And I mean, we live in California, so we're very fortunate, but a lot of times different herbs can be grown in the backyard. So getting the children to understand, for example, mint. Mint has a very cooling effect. So, putting some mint leaves into your food or even into the yogurt. Yogurt is a great probiotic, by the way. And, I have certain videos on my website where I talk to clients and patients about how you can make your own yogurt at home. It's very easy, actually. And so, putting mint into the yogurt or into your food, or even water, you put little lemon and mint, it's very cooling. It naturally aids the body to stay cooler in summer. And so, things you can do is participate in cooking together, growing things in your backyard, so straight from backyard to kitchen. Mm-hmm. And, you want to make sure that when you cook, it's you have a light discussion. We don't necessarily want to bring our office troubles or some works or family stress, and not talk too much stress about the politics. Keep that aside and enjoy the food together. I think that the whole setting is very important, how you digest your food, because you're also digesting your thoughts, your emotions, all that goes in together.
Hey everybody, I wanted to tell you about this great shaving product that I've been using lately. Not only is it awesome, it will save you money. Enough to buy 26 cups of coffee in New York City or 3 deep dish pizza dinners in Chicago. Harry's is an awesome product. It delivers high quality razor blades as low as $2 each, a fraction of the price of leading brands, and saving you hundreds of dollars at the same time. I really like the way that Harry's works. It has a very close shave, it's got a great design for the handle, and also the scent of the shave gel is fantastic and it leaves your skin nice and smooth. You can get a trial set delivered to your doorstep by going to harrys.com/frequency. Quality, durable blades at a fair price, just $2 a blade. They've cut out middlemen manufacturing blades in their German blade factory that's been honing precision blades for a century. I'm telling you, I use this product and it is absolutely amazing. Harry's has all your grooming needs covered in just one stop. You can get blades, hair care, shower products, all on harrys.com. And just like their blades, Harry is committed to providing premium products without breaking the bank. Again, visit harrys.com/frequency. I want to make sure that everybody gets the chance to go check it out. You can feel better too about the purchase because 1% of their proceeds are set aside for nonprofit organizations developed to helping provide access to better mental health care for men and veterans. How could you not get behind the veterans? So important nowadays. Listeners of the show can redeem their Harry's trial set at harrys.com/frequency. You'll get a weighted ergonomic handle for a firm grip, 5-blade razor with a lubricating strip and a trimmer blade. I use it every day. Rich lathering shave gel with aloe to keep your skin hydrated. And I'm telling you, when you get done shaving, your face will feel so smooth, it's amazing. You even get a travel blade cover to keep your razors dry and easy to grab on the go. So make sure you go to harrys.com/frequency to start shaving and saving today. So if someone's living a busy lifestyle, I'll give you an example of myself, right? So on Mondays and Wednesdays is when I actually go to the karate dojo and work with our sensei to do karate practice, or actually that's not true. It's not karate practice. It's a learning session, right? You practice at home. But I don't get home from those until 7:30. And so for, an hour and a half, starting at 6 o'clock, I'm full on, exercise and mental mode for an hour and a half. And I haven't even had dinner. And my bedtime's at 9 or 9:30 and I'm coming home at 8 o'clock. What do you do in that scenario? Because trust me, I'm super hungry at that point in the day.
Yeah, so important things to do for that situation would be to have a wonderful time at dinner. So you want to appreciate, if your wife is cooking that day, you want to really appreciate her. Because remember, like the thoughts and the feelings of the cook influence your food also. So you definitely want to appreciate her and have a good time and enjoy your dinner with her. But again, you don't want to eat a very heavy meal. So one way to know whether your meal is heavy is like avoiding too many complex cheese, for example, too much, say, meat at nighttime. That's very complex for the body to digest. So you want to at least maybe try closer to a semi-vegetarian kind of diet and not too many heavy cheeses at bedtime. So you may want to do that for lunch. So you may want to save that for your lunch and you can use that for next day, or, make a modification such that you can take that to work. And even at work, you should be able to have at least half hour off just when you're eating your food. You can be with your colleagues and having a lively or something really light discussion and focusing on your food. So you still want to eat your food, but at closer to the bedtime, you need to remember that your body channels are closing. So the lymphatics that take away all the lymph, the microchyle that's produced within your digestive tract, the channels are kind of going off to sleep. So they're not able to take everything, from the digestive system. So the food might stay sitting until the next day. And then again, you start eating the next day and your old food is still not digested. And if this cycle goes on, you produce toxins or something we call ama in the body. And that sets off, for symptoms like people might experience not too much energy, and then they feel their tongue is coated. They might feel that they're spitting frequently. They're not feeling that clarity the next day. So we want to avoid that. So yes, if you're going to do a big workout, you want to maybe have a slightly heavier lunch and even snack. Now you can snack on different fruits and nuts and different kind of herbal teas. You can use those. Different kinds of ways to snack during the day so you're not super hungry.
You guys have to check out this new service that I'm playing around with called Issue. It is totally amazing. You live to create, but you don't live to worry over the last nitpicky details involved in putting final touches on contact. You got to do what you do best and let Issue handle the rest. If you're a creative, you know the drill. You're finally done editing, it's perfect. Now you just need format and reformat for every single platform. With Issue, make it once, and it's ready to post everywhere. Seriously, Issue is the all-in-one platform to create and distribute beautiful digital publications, from brochures to magazines and sales collateral. It's perfect for creators, marketers, designers, educators, publishers, salespeople, or just anyone that wants to make eye-catching content that can be distributed on multiple platforms. Issue makes it really simple. Just upload the PDFs and files, and Issue transforms them using your vision and customizable templates to create the content you want. With Issue, you just create it one time and distribute it everywhere. Everything is optimized to post on your website, social platforms like Instagram and Facebook. They can even help you make animated Instagram stories. And the best part about it, it is free. FREE free. That's right, it's free to get started with Issue. So go to issue.info/frequency to sign up for your free account. That's ISSUU.info/frequency to sign up and let them know that you heard about it from this show, Finding Your Frequency. Remember, that's .info, not .com, .info. So go to ISSUU.info/frequency and get your free account today. My wife, she does awesome things on Sundays. We meal prep for the week, and one of the things that she does for me, and I take these to work on Monday, and I have them for the whole week. But it's like a snack tray, right? But all the snacks are all really vegan based, right? So it'll be celery, watermelon, some peaches, different, broccoli, those kind of things. And so I have one of those trays, and instead of eating a sandwich or something for lunch, I just eat that tray of food. So so it's good that I'm doing that part that's healthy, but maybe I should be eating a little bit more heavier. I like how you're shaping this, right? We have this idea you're talking about, the sun and its energy. So it's almost like a ramp period, because for me, I'm not really hungry that much in the morning. I do maybe by about 10 o'clock or something. Now I'm starting to get hungry. And so a lot of times I'll avoid breakfast, or I'll have something light, or I might just have a protein shake or something like that. And it's kind of like, you kind of start off gradual as the sun rises, and then you get to a peak in the day at noon where you're having your heavier lunch, and then you're kind of building down from there, having a snack, and then maybe something light for dinner. And as long as you're keeping that maintained with healthy foods, it's going to be really hard for you to gain weight if you're having a low fat, high protein, high fiber type of diet, right?
Yeah, and this is how naturally this is where we're sinking our way to nature. So in the afternoon, so from 11 to 1, the body's ability to digest is actually at peak. So your body can actually digest food really well. So for your days when you're going to have a workout and retire home later on, so you want to definitely not just snack with fruits. You want to definitely have like a sandwich maybe so that day, and your wife can still make it, and you want to appreciate her definitely, because that helps those great endorphins, everything to keep going. So you're syncing with nature, and that's the best way to do it, because now you're retiring to bed and you're not eating heavier, and then you're not eating say 12 hours till the next day. So it's a natural way of intermittent fasting already. So all of that helps the body to reboot. It's kind of like a daily panchakarma or a daily detox that we do to our body actually. So this is a really natural way of staying in shape and staying more alert and clear.
I really like this conversation that you're having, and it's reminding me that when I get home tonight and I'm talking to my wife, I'm going to say, hey, I was talking to Dr. Mittal, and, we should make a quick adjustment on some things and eat heavier at lunchtime and then eat lighter at dinner. And as long as we're on the same page, that works. Because sometimes I cook, sometimes she cooks. It varies. But yeah, no, that's kind of an interesting idea. It's like if you make a heavy meal for dinner, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to eat heavy, and then you could always turn around and take the portions of fish or whatever the meat is or the vegetables and eat it for lunch to the next day. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, and you forgot the key. I do want you to appreciate her a lot. So that goes really long ways, trust me.
Oh yeah, no, we no. If there's one thing in my house that my wife and I do probably better together than anything, it's in the kitchen, right? When we cook a meal together, and yeah, I love that too because having the kiddos involved is very helpful. My daughter is 6, and she helps to set the table. She does dishes. When we're cooking, I make breakfast in the morning for her. Little ones, they're eating all the time, and so when we make breakfast for her, she cracks the eggs and puts them in the pan, and she gets involved in that as well. And so it's definitely something I can totally agree with and get behind when you talk about having appreciation for what your loved ones are doing, appreciate, and if you're cooking, also appreciation for yourself, right, for making these meals that you're making, whether it be for yourself or for yourself and your family. And then getting the kiddos involved is great. I live in Phoenix, so I can't grow year round. It's way too hot. Like today it's 116, so there's no way to grow. But as soon as the fall comes, we always have our garden in the backyard that we do with tomatoes and green peppers and onions and all those kind of staple vegetables that we like to put on the table at home. And there's definitely a difference in nutrition from a mental perspective and from a physical perspective when you have something at home, right? Because you get the satisfaction of knowing that it's been well cared for. It hasn't been handled by 20 different distributors or those types of things. And then you also know that food is nutritious and healthy and organic and pesticide free because you grew it yourself.
Yeah, this is great. I think you're on the right track, Ryan. I feel really wonderful talking to you because you share a lot of similarities. So,
Doctor, is it okay if I have one soda a day, like one?
I didn't hear that. I'm gonna skip that.
So no soda, huh?
Yeah, no, you need to love water. So what you do is you put some mint in the summertime. Mint is very cooling. You need it's just like aloe vera. So aloe vera is great for cooling, and so is mint. And you can grow aloe vera in Phoenix. I'm pretty sure you can.
Oh, yep. I have an aloe vera plant that's like 4 feet around at my house. We use it all the time because, and especially in the summertime, when we're at the swimming pool or, we like to go out to the lake and you're going to get a sunburn at least once or twice a summer, no matter how much sunblock you put on because it's so hot here. And this is my little trick that I always use is I cut a piece of the aloe vera off, put it in the freezer, and then when we come home, we take it out of the freezer, and then voila, you have a organic, nice, cold, cooling gel to put on your skin after it's sunburnt.
Yeah, this is great. So yeah, so you want to drink more water with lemon and put some mint in it, and great. You can even get aloe vera juice in some of the stores and have it, and apply it on the skin. That's perfect. All this is very natural.
When you talk about water, I love to be honest about things because I carry a 20-ounce water bottle with me everywhere I go. On a day where I'm really heavily involved in drinking water, I might drink 160, 180 ounces of water in a given day, sometimes 200 ounces. If it's a karate day, I can drink 40 ounces of water before and after just practice, which is 80 ounces in and of itself. But I mean, even if you're maintaining a high water dosage on a daily basis to keep yourself hydrated and healthy, I just feel sometimes, like in the middle of the day, like 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon, even though I eat healthy, or I try to for the majority of the time, and I drink water, I still find myself sometimes having a case of what I call the 2 o'clocks, right? Like around 2 o'clock, you start to drag, right? You're like getting tired for that day. And so how do you avoid that? Because right now what I'm doing is not the most healthy thing at 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm like, okay, I need some caffeine. I need a soda. I need some coffee, something like that, which I know is probably not the most healthy thing. But how do you get your body to a place of, being symbiotic with itself that you don't have that problem at 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon? Because I know that's a big issue with a lot of people who are working, right? You get that lull at 3 o'clock and you're just like, oh, can my day be over now?
So, Ryan, that's a very good point. I'm glad that you brought this question, because just the mere acknowledgement that your body feels tired, it's great. That means you're very responsive and able to pick the cues and signals your body is giving you. It's all about really knowing your body. Knowing your body is like coming more and more closer to being more mindful, right, than just, working and working, and we're just ignoring these signals the body gives us. So that's great that you're able to appreciate all the cues that the body is giving you. So if you feel those kind of symptoms where the body kind of slows down at around 2 o'clock, and you feel like you need some caffeine, so one important way to go around that is, that means you really need a break from what you're doing, whether you're at a computer desk, or if it's more physical work, or whatever kind of work we're doing, we need a break from that. And sometimes it's important to just walk around. Say right now people mostly are at home, so maybe walking away from your desk and just going up or down the stairs, or just around the house in your backyard, taking a little walk, and then before you come back, and then it's important to maybe close your eyes for 2 minutes and just relax, and let the thoughts come and go by. It's kind of like going in meditation. So even if you just close your eyes for 2 minutes, it's kind of like a rest you're giving to your body. All the external stimulation, it just kind of slows down a little bit. It helps the body to rejuvenate back. So a little walk and a little exercise to close your eyes and sit calmly for 2 minutes. And another substitute that you can do is using herbal teas instead of the caffeine. And in the beginning, if somebody is used to having that coffee, it's you may not be able to go without it. So you may want to add, say for example, if you're somebody who does mostly black coffee, you may want to add some milk, or milk substitute, like in it. So that way it's all not black. It is maybe some almond milk or regular milk, whole milk. So that way you're substituting it, and then slowly decrease the size, and then add more like herbal things. So for summer, you want to add teas that are more cooling. So drinking some herbal tea, and maybe going around having a small conversation, a light conversation with a colleague, or with somebody at home. And if there's no one, then you do that with your inner self. You just close your eyes and take a little break. It helps you bounce back for the rest of the day. Believe it or not, but it gives you back that tremendous energy that you can come back.
So, you talk about tea, and, I'm obviously very Western when it comes to lots of things. But like tea, let me give you an example. So like I try, and this is what I'm kind of trying to do right now, is I'm trying to transition myself away from, any kind of coffee or any soda in a given day, and substituting it with iced tea. I love iced tea with lemon in it, right? Which I believe is black tea. Now, is there any health concerns I should be aware of if by drinking iced tea?
I don't think so. I don't think there's any health concerns, but we have to just remember we want to do it in moderation. For example, if someone likes iced tea, they should not be drinking it as a means to quench thirst all day. So you have to just remember that that's not really water. In the end, tea is dehydrating and acts as a diuretic, and actually causes more dehydration. It doesn't really hydrate your body. So the that caffeine part is actually dehydrating. So you want to limit that, and that's okay if you're more used to it. So having it, 1 or 2 cups, it's okay. And then you slowly want to, if that's your happy medium, and you stick with it. But if you eventually say you're having, say, 6 or 7 cups of those, you want to limit that to maybe 1 or 2 a day. And because it does have caffeine, and caffeine is dehydrating. So it's actually not really doing hydration. So in those regards, decaffeinated herbal teas, or teas that don't have caffeine in them, are actually your better friends, or just water with different herbs can be really great.
Yeah, it's just really hard to get off of caffeine when you've been drinking it for a long time. I think that's a big challenge with Americans, right? Sugar and caffeine.
And you say it right. There's actually a great principle we talk about in Ayurveda, is that if something the body gets used to, we don't want to deprive the body of it immediately. Like, it should not be on and off switch, because that's not healthy. So you really have to work your way towards minimizing it over time, gradually, say even 6 months. So you don't want to do that tomorrow. And definitely not be harsh on yourself. That's not fair. So you want to encourage yourself that, you know what, I will maybe get down to just two cups a day. So, you work your way to it and encourage yourself. It's okay to have a little, breaks here and there and cheat a little bit. That's fine. We don't want to be harsh on ourselves.
That was actually going to be my next comment was, and as being as American as I am, right? Like there's something about, a cheeseburger, French fries, and a Coca-Cola that is so, Americano. And it's okay to do that every once in a while, right? Like you don't have to stick to this, vegan diet as, all the time. Like, maybe once or twice a month, it's okay to have a hamburger and a Coke, right?
Yeah, our bodies get used to a certain kind of taste, and so it's not healthy to really just deprive the body immediately from all these things. So it's something that you work around over time. And to answer your question about the hamburger, there's a lot of data that's published in gastro journals also that red meat causes inflammation in the gut. So red meat can cause flare-ups of Crohn's disease. It's an autoimmune disorder that affects the gut lining and can cause a lot of inflammation. So it's also shown the red meat can cause inflammation and flare-ups of irritable bowel syndrome. So something we call IBS. Mm-hmm. So I know that a lot of literature is now pointing towards getting to be more vegetarian and limiting the red meat part of it. So once in a while is okay. We don't need to punish ourselves. But eventually we want the body to develop a new taste. And that takes time.
Yeah, no, it sure does. I've been on, this mission of trying to eat healthier, and my family likes to eat a lot of pasta, right? And so when we eat pasta, normally my wife is making it with ground beef and making it into the pasta sauce. And so we've been, trying to experiment with substituting the beef for, like different vegetables. And so like last week we made this really awesome red pasta sauce that was, standard red pasta sauce, but we fortified it with, bits of squash and mushrooms. And we added some zucchini that we chopped up in there as well. And then, instead of using pasta or noodles, we actually made our own like noodles out of squash, right? Out of a peanut squash. And so you can make like little noodles out of them. And so we ended up with an entire meal that was completely vegan and, really high in lots of minerals and vitamins and protein, which I think is important for your body.
Yeah, but that sounds delicious. I think I have to stop by in your house. This is yummy.
Oh, yeah.
Sounds great.
Yeah, you got to try that. So you can do it with a butternut squash too, where you cut the butternut squash in half, throw it in the oven, and then you use a fork to scrape it out. And using the fork to scrape it out makes it look like spaghetti. And then you pour it over sauce, and there you go.
Oh, great. Sounds wonderful.
There's Ryan's meal tip of the day.
Yes, I agree completely.
Well, so, one thing we haven't talked about, we've been talking about all these different health and wellness topics, and we've been discussing some, ways that people can, follow the rhythm of their body and keep themselves, in healthy and in harmony with their mind and their body. But, one thing we didn't talk about, doctor, is we didn't talk about your journey and your path. And, I want to make sure we get that in here on the show before we end here in a few minutes. How did you decide that this is the path that you wanted to take for your life, for your business, your career, was to, work with folks with rheumatoid arthritis and be what do you call it? A rheumatologist?
Yeah, that's the one question that I think intrigues a lot of people. A lot of people think rheumatologists are like architects or interior designers or something, really. But rheumatologists treat different kinds of arthritis and autoimmune disease. And my journey that really took me was my medicine came to me very naturally. So both my parents are physicians back in India. My dad is an internist and my mom's a pediatrician, and they both had a very busy practice. So growing up for me, trying to spend more time with my parents was basically shadowing with them in a clinic or outpatient setting, or just following them inpatient. So following them, I kind of learned like taking care of a patient and making a difference in their quality of life was really satisfying. And for example, like my mom would take care of sick babies and sick children. It's not really treating the baby. It's like you're treating the mom, the dad, and even like grandparents. So
it's like training a dog. Sometimes when you get a new dog, you're not necessarily training the dog as much as you're training yourself.
Yeah, and it was amazing. Like her bedside mannerisms. How you build a trust with the patient and family, the clarity of communication with the child's parents, grandparents. All that kind of all those factors I was really exposed to from my childhood. So medicine is really an art of healing, and I knew I wanted to pursue that path. And I wanted to practice more evidence-based and cutting-edge medicine. So I moved to U.S. and I moved here and did all my medical training here at Columbia University affiliate hospitals. And eventually, with my internal medicine training, I figured that when people didn't know how to diagnose something, or we hit a block in the road, then it would be like called rheumatology, because everything is inflammation, and rheumatologists will connect the dots. It's kind of like Sherlock Holmes. You're a detective. So it was very fascinating. And then I went on eventually to train as a rheumatologist, and it's been great because people who have arthritis, even wear and tear arthritis, we get stiffness in the body, and sometimes some of the arthritis are really bad that people can't hold a coffee cup, they can't hold their spoon, their fork. So there's a lot of quality of life issues and things that come up, and if I can contribute and make a difference, it's very rewarding. But I will tell you that during this journey as a rheumatologist, I did realize that, our modern medicine is very fragmented. We're great at treating, say, kidney disease, heart disease, skin disorders, joint disorders, liver disorders, but then we're not really connecting to the patient as a whole. We're still missing the big picture. It's like referring patient, okay, now you want to see the specialist, you go see the X specialist. So I think we're very fragmented here, and it's really important to connect to the person as a whole and more holistically. Plus our medicines are great in terms of they're very targeted at disease management, but we've got a lot of side effects that come from these medications. So there's a lot, and I think people want to be more educated on prevention. They want to know the whole holistic picture so they can make the best informed choices for themselves. And patients have been my biggest inspiration for starting this. I'll tell you a very short story. There was a patient, and I'm not going to share her name, but she had osteoarthritis in her hands in her late 50s. So osteoarthritis is wear and tear arthritis that all of us will get to some extent as we use our joints. So she had it in her hands, and medication-wise, there's only these NSAIDs, the Motrin, Aleve, those kind of medications you can do. There's no other treatment, and doing those long-term has its own side effects. So she was very puzzled that is there something I can do more naturally. And I started talking to her about turmeric, the bright red spice powder, and she got really fascinated. She came to my clinic that, doctor, you need to start a wellness class to teach people how to use it in their diet. She came once and I said, yes, I'll do it one day. She came twice, third time. When she came the fourth time, just to remind me, I said, wait here in the waiting room. I went to my room and I typed up the class, when we're going to start, how we're going to do it. And I just said, FYI to my husband, I'm doing it. I'm sorry, but I'm going to go this route. So she was one of, the big inspirations. And there's been so many patients in my life that have motivated me. And just based on their motivation and respect to them, I want to give them this whole picture. They need to know that, yes, modern medicine is great when it comes to acute disease management, but for lifestyle and chronic diseases, we want to incorporate, wellness, which goes hand in hand with medicine. So it's not like you do only one and not the other. You can very well, amalgamate or combine and merge both sides and develop something that's best suited to your needs.
Oh, that makes a whole lot of sense. A whole lot of sense. Thank you so much for your feedback today on the show. It's been quite pleasant and wonderful to hear you talk about, the health and also your background and why you do what you do. And I think what we're gonna call this episode Whole Body Health with Dr. Manisha Mittal. What do you think about that title?
Oh, that sounds awesome. I think I have to come back and share some more health and wellness tips, because it's really about empowering, patients. And that's really my mission, to empower people with education as much as possible.
Well, I think you're doing a really good job. Kudos to you.
Thank you very much for having me.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're here with Dr. Manisha Mittal. Want to thank her for being on the show today, and if you guys are listening, please share this with your friends. It's important that we get this health information out to as many people as possible, because here in America we have a problem. We have an addiction problem. We're addicted to sugar. We're addicted to food. We have an obesity problem. We have a diabetes problem, and a lot of the stuff that Dr. Mittal is talking about here could really, really go a long way for people to get them back into their rhythm with their health, and get them in doing the things that they enjoy. One of the things I think that's the most important thing about keeping healthy is so you can really lavish in life. You can really, be excited about, going and doing things, and the opportunity to, play a basketball game with your kid, or go out and play a little bit of soccer, or, when you play with your dogs, and being able to do that is so fulfilling for your soul. And if you can't take care of your physical health, then it's hard to take care of your mental health as well. So that's my tip. What do you think, Doc?
Yeah, I think you're right on track. This is great. It's important to balance, physical, mental, and spiritual health. So if you have a faith you believe in, continue doing that. That's so nourishing for the soul. So continue to balance everything, and we should spread peace and harmony in the world. It was interesting. My children were listening to this episode of Peppa Pig, which talks about growing your own vegetables and spreading peace and harmony. So it's all about going hand in hand with nature and respecting the person next to us.
That's
so
awesome.
Thank you very much, Ryan, for having me and sharing this with your audience.
Yeah, Dr. Mittal, tell people where they can find out more about you. What's your website?
So we are having actually this is perfect timing, because we recently started a health and wellness series, which are 2-minute health tips for the day. These are available for everybody on our Facebook page, and our website is mokshaholisticcenter.com. So MOKSHA, Moksha. Moksha means enlightenment. So Moksha Holistic Center, it's all one word, .com. And you can follow us on Facebook, and we have plenty of health tips there and videos posted of how you can start your day and have a wonderful day full of energy.
Oh, that's fantastic. Thank you so much for being on the show. And for you guys that are listening to this, please make sure you give us a 5-star review, because 5 stars is way better than 4. And I think we deserve 5 stars. We're 5-star human beings. Thank you guys for listening to Finding Your Frequency right here on the Voice America Talk Radio Network. And remember, we'll be here at the same time next week, bringing you some fantastic stories about finding your frequency, whether it be in health, business, relationships, or whatever the case may be. We want to make sure everybody finds their frequency. Stay tuned again. I'm Ryan Treasure.